Hello students, today we are going to discuss some blood investigations. Generally when a patient come to dental setup, we ask for this complete blood picture, and it is difficult for us to remember all the values, so the lab person or the lab will provide the reference values. But then you see there are abnormalities, but you suddenly don't recollect whether that abnormality related to a disease or is it general physiological response. So today we will see what are the different blood investigations you see. I'm talking about complete blood picture today. So what is the significance and what disease can you suspect when you see the blood picture? That is our first discussion point today. Then I'll do another video about platelets, another video about the MCH, MCV, those sub values and all. So for now, the gross values, that is the gross RBC, WBC and platelets, we are going to see. You order the blood reports, you get the blood reports, you know they are highlighting some aspects which are abnormal, but you don't know how to identify the disease, or you don't know how to guess where to move forward. Then this video will help. This video will also be useful for all the PG students who are preparing for post-graduation entrance, or who are generally preparing for oral maxillofacial surgery clinical rounds. Okay, for them this will be very useful. Let's get into the topic. So now we will discuss red blood cells. Red blood cells, and the red blood cells are approximately 4 to 6 into 10 to the power of 6 cells per millimeter cube. The values, based on the units it differ, but generally 4 to 6 into 10 to the power of 6 cells per millimeter cube is a general value they give. And then the hemoglobin is the most commonly you see in when you ask for complete blood picture, right? Then the hemoglobin in males, it is 14 to 18 grams per deciliter, and females 12 to 16 grams per deciliter. Basically above 14 is considered good. So when you are taking up for a surgery, for an extraction, for a minor surgical procedures, remember that the value should go above 14 is good, and approximately up till 10 you don't have any problem in treating a patient, but below 10 you have to be cautious, right? You generally write in this format the WBC, the hemoglobin, hematocrit and platelets. This is called fishbone pattern, so that you quickly realize where is the defect, right? If hemoglobin is defective, you write here it is defective. Hematocrit, you write here. WBC and platelets. This is how the fishbone pattern gives. Now the hematocrit value is volume of RBCs in volume of blood, whatever volume you are assessing. So basically they put it in a test tube, they wait for RBC to settle. Generally it is 45%. The hematocrit value is 45%. In females it is 40, in males it is 45% approximately. So this is also a PG question, 45% and 40%. Remember that. Then the RBCs, if they are less, they are anemic. So we will discuss anemia separately. Now in this video, we will talk about WBCs and different values, whether if they are increased or decreased, right? So remember this. First is polymorphonuclear neutrophils, or we generally call them as neutrophils. They are approximately 50 to 70%. And neutrophils are increased in build. Remember it as build, that is bacterial infection, uremia or infarction, leukemia and diabetic ketoacidosis. All these things causes build. Build is increased neutrophils. Whenever there is a neutrophil increase, you see abnormal rise in neutrophils. Remember it can be something related to build, that is bacterial infection, uremia, infarction. Infarction can be any crush injury or bone injury or burns or myocardial infarction, and leukemia and diabetic ketoacidosis. Here I will tell you, leukemia, you can see all the WBCs increased. Okay, leukemia, all the WBCs will increase. So remember, leukemia will be there in everywhere. Then whenever the neutrophils are decreased, you see it in Dravid, that is drugs, radiation, aplastic anemia, viral infection and dialysis. In these conditions you see neutrophils are decreased. Okay, so remember them as build increased, Dravid is decreased, and you can write them down and remember them for easy, whenever someone asks a question like that, you can easily recollect and answer. Then the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are increased in vital, that is viral infections, and tuberculosis, and acute lymphocytic leukemia, that is vital. In those conditions you see lymphocytes increased. I'll repeat that: viral infections, tuberculosis, acute lymphocytic leukemia, all these conditions you see increased lymphocytes, and decreased lymphocytes you see in bus stop, that is burns, uremia, and steroids. Stop is stress and trauma. That is generally seen in OPI. I read in normal population, okay, in normal 20% of population, you generally see lymphocytes are less. In general, also 20% of population will have less lymphocytes when compared to the regular values, right? Remember this as bus stop. Whenever the lymphocytes are reduced, remember this. In monocytes, it is increased in PEC, that is in protozoal infections, subacute endocarditis, and collagen disease, and they are decreased in aplasia of bone marrow, right? And then eosinophils are increased in MAP, that is in malignancy, allergy. It can be any form of allergy, it can be asthma also, and Addison's disease, allergy, and P for parasitic infections. In MAP you see eosinophils increased, and eosinophils are decreased in two types, that is stress and steroids. I repeat, stress, remember stress as BIT, that is burns, infection, and trauma. All these give body stress. Stress is not only what you take psychologically. Stress can happen to body by BIT, that is burns, infection, and trauma. All this can cause stress, right? So in stress and steroids you see decreased eosinophilic count, and basophils are increased in leukemia, or after recovery from any surgical procedure or any major stress procedure, you see increase in basophils, and they are decreased in rheumatic fever or stress and steroids, right? Then the platelets are generally 1.5 to 4 lakh millimeter cube, and they can be divided into quantitative disorders and qualitative disorders. They'll be discussed elsewhere in another video, and also we will discuss some peripheral blood smear morphologies like multi or nucleated immature, or spirocytes, sideroblastic, basophilic, or schizocytes, helmet cells like, or teardrop cells. All these are seen in peripheral blood smear morphology, which you generally don't order as a dentist, but in general for PG preparation, these things, whatever I have told you here, these are very important. If you are preparing for PG, remember to note these also and keep them in your memory, right? So I'll discuss platelets and blood smear in another video. Meanwhile, remember this, and if you want, I'll put it in the comment section also, so that you can remember them easy. Whenever there is any abnormality in WBCs, you can easily identify them. Hope this video helps you. In case you have any trouble, in case you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to do it. I may delay it, but I will never deny it. So I will do it slowly, one by one. These days I was trapped in so many things, so I could not upload video quick, but I'll make sure that I'll upload at least one video a week. All right, thank you so much for your love and support, and I respect all of you. I want all of you to succeed. Anything is possible. All you have to do is sit down, close your doors, and start working towards it, right? Chalo, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I am Dr. Harish Theneti, maxillofacial surgeon. This is for all the students who are preparing for post-graduation.